Greetings, friends. Oh, Jumper's chewing on the tripod, of course. Can't really be too surprised about that. He really likes chewing on things like that. But, I figured I'd record another vlog. It's been a little bit since It's been a couple days since the last one, right? I didn't really think of much to say. Right now, we're just, focusing on... That was Jumper. I might as well just hold the tripod here, so that way that doesn't happen. But we've mostly just been focusing on living and just dealing with all this stuff. I feel okay, though. I'm glad to say. I don't feel too stressed right now, I'll admit. It's been okay the last couple days, at least. I also learned of a new philosophy from a video I watched. I can't remember the actual name of it. It's like, it's this Japanese philosophy. I know, Trevor's doing it too, but it's this Japanese philosophy of accepting that, or it's about embracing perfect imperfection. I can't remember the name. If I can remember, I might put it in the description. Who knows? But it's the idea that, like watching it made me realize how much we in modern society chase perfection in every little thing. You know, everything's got to be neatly organized. We've got to have our hair all done perfectly. We need to meet these beauty standards that make no sense. We need to be perfect at all times. And we're taught this, through advertisements and things like that. But this Japanese philosophy embraces the idea that, when you look at nature, what all you see is crookedness and asymmetry, but it's still beautiful in its own right. You don't need things to be perfect. They just nature's not perfect. Like, you ever see a river do its hair? Like, there's really no need to do all of that. And it's not an excuse to be like, oh, I'm just gonna let myself go. It's more like a find happiness in the little things, find beauty in things that aren't, perfect. It's about simplicity, and it's someone in the comments of the video put it very well. It's the art of acknowledging that whatever will be, and it is what it is ultimately. There's so many things out of our control that we try to control, and the one of the biggest reasons we deal with things like depression or like anxiety is because we aren't able to match up to the idea of perfect we have in our brains. Or rather, we try living to other people's expectations. And I'm going to hold the tripod in case the cats knock it down again. So, it's just something I've been trying to work on. This morning I got some creative work done, but I wasn't stressed about it. I was like, you know what, I am going to get some work done this morning, but I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to do what I want, and then I'm going to relax. I don't need to be on all the time. That's a bit of a hard lesson I'm learning recently, but it's a good lesson. You don't have to be on all the time. Being on all the time is exhausting. And then if you get on all this work done only to find out that it doesn't meet your expectations, then you're going to feel bad. So, why? It's important to kind of think about these things. Like, why do you do the things you do? Why are you always working? Like, things like that. And last night after watching that video, I'm like, I feel like I work so much on my stuff that I don't stop to think about things like that. I just assume, oh, I'm an author. I gotta be doing author stuff 24/7. But that's not the case. Like, no wonder I'm so burnt out on writing, if that's the philosophy I've been living with for the past, you know, 16 years? I don't even know. I guess I didn't really adopt that until after high school, so it's only been 7 years, but still. You can't always be on, you can't be perfect, and that's okay. Just let things be. It's perfectly fine to do so. It's hard to put into words because in our society there's always going to be those devil's advocates who are like, oh, that's just an excuse to be lazy, blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's not. When you really understand the philosophy, that's not what it is. It's about embracing being imperfect. We're humans. We're not supposed to be perfect. Like, we're just as much a part of nature as the trees and everything are. So, like, what's the difference between us and them? Like, some societal creed tells us to be perfect? No. That sucks. Get that philosophy out of your brain. Easier said than done, but it's something I know I'm working on. Also, I'm just reaching over to grab coffee. What time is it? Oh, it's 1:49. Okay. It's not that late, but I have had this cup for a few hours now. So it's quite cold, but I don't mind. I like kind of spreading my coffee out. Yeah, that's another thing that the philosophy talked about. It was the beginning of it was with tea ceremonies in Japan. Initially, it was like they would only drink out of these super fine Chinese tea glasses, and they would always hold the ceremonies on a full moon. But then someone adopted this philosophy, like wondering why we have to do these things, and made it a lot simpler. They embraced simplicity in the tea ceremony, and instead they changed it. Instead of being this fancy thing, it's just a, a symbolic act of showing that we're imperfect and it's okay to embrace that. So they just drink out of very minimalistic Japanese teacups instead, and instead of holding them on a full moon, they usually wait until it's like a clouded or partial moon, like just to show that nothing's perfect and that's okay. There isn't much else I really wanted to talk about, and I feel like I've been rambling about this philosophy long enough, but I figured it was just nice to talk about. Gonna set this back over here. But if you've been watching me listen and ramble, or if wow, that was English. If you've been listening to me ramble all this time, I appreciate it. I don't record these vlogs as often as I used to, but I figure that's okay. I'm not too stressed about it. But I hope you guys continue to manage life stuff. Go easy on yourself, okay?